podcast. I am Dr. Kyla Prusak, principal at Minett Elementary, and I'm excited to share with you the voices of real educators who are living this work. When I think about the greatness that is happening every day in schools all over the world, I feel compelled to do a small part in helping others understand the many facets of the work we do. We hope our listeners will be able to gain an inside look as we pull back the curtain. We are back for episode 4, and we are excited to highlight our counselor, Megan Reynolds.
Hello.
We are so excited to have you on the podcast because it also happens to be National School Counseling Week.
Yes, it is. I felt the love this today alone. It's been really fun.
We're going to just shower you with love all week. So some people might not truly understand what a counselor at an elementary school does. So tell us about what a day looks like for you, just any day.
Okay. So counselors spend a lot of time directly with students. That's like our main job. So whether that's guidance for all students, and the way I structure it is I do 2 grade levels a week. So I do that for 45 minutes for each class. So your child would see me every month at least, but I see them other times all the time too, just in the hallways, going into classes. I do groups as well with parent permission. And so about 80% of my time is spent with students, and then the other time's doing all the, office work type things, calls, all those sorts of things. And so a typical day for me is like guidance lessons, checking in on different students. Parents contact me all the time asking me to do different check-ins with their child. So like that's something that I'm working on. A lot of scheduling, making things happen, running for the school, whether it's like for our positive behavior supports, for our Joni's Marketplace. So a lot of scheduling, a lot of things like that. So that's kind of a typical day for me. Individual student check-ins, and also like any bullying reports, that sort of thing. I take care of those as well.
Awesome. So you are busy. That's why
I
I never see you. So you talked a little bit about, seeing kids with their counseling lessons monthly or twice a month.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about, what do those lessons look like?
So for example, this month, I'll give you kind of like recent what we're doing. Last month I did love languages with the entire school, which is one of my favorite things. And I actually had parents reach out to me like saying how amazing that was, how it brought a lot of discussion to have with their child. Lots of quality time kiddos in the school. I wish I would have taken more of a note to just have but I did my own informal analysis and lots of quality time. So your kiddos really like to just eat dinner with you and talk with you. Mm-hmm. And so that was something that we did last month. I do different personality quizzes to help build some self-awareness and strengths with students. And I do Myers-Briggs for 5th graders to help them just kind of analyze themselves, get them thinking about what they want to do when they grow up, maybe a path they want to do once they start doing getting ready for middle school, because I just finished doing all the academic planning for our rising 6th graders. Next month, or this month, I guess, gosh, it's February, I'm going to be doing a lot of just like social things, because it's kindness week, talking about empathy, talking about how to broach conflict. So a lot of kids just don't understand, I don't want to hurt their feelings, but it's okay to advocate for yourself. So how do you talk to students, other kids and friends about what's bugging you, what's bothering you, talking about more bullying prevention type things. So that's kind of where we're headed this month. In March and April, I'll be doing learning styles with the kiddos. So I want them to figure out what their learning style is. So that sort of thing. I like to, all-encompassing for my guidance lessons is I like to focus on social awareness and self-awareness. Mm-hmm. Those are the big kickers for me at this age. I feel like that's so important. What are you self-aware of? What are we socially aware of? Mm-hmm.
They walk out of your lesson so proud when they'll tell you, I love words of affirmation. Mm-hmm. And it makes them so proud and empowered. So
yeah, they awesome love coming to the quad for guidance.
Yes,
for sure.
Well, you are definitely a pioneer in your field, and you're always piloting new ideas to engage families and students. So tell us a little bit about some of your favorite programs that you have got off the ground just already this year at Minett.
So to name a few, some of the ones that are the most, I feel visible from parents and students is our Joni's Marketplace and our Buddy Bucks, and that's a part of our positive behavior support plan intervention, PBIS, that we have in place at Minett. So the Buddy Bucks is just a way for us to promote positive behaviors for our students, and that's like just little things that we see them doing, like positive interactions, doing something above and beyond on top of the house points, so they can represent and get house points for their house as well. But then with the Buddy Bucks, they're able to shop once a month for just little tangibles or non-tangibles, depending on what they want, what they're feeling like, what they want to save up for. So it's really exciting leading up to that, I think, and it's honestly just a life skill for them to like add up what they want to buy. Every month they do an order form, they're shopping for it, they're like, oh, I don't have enough money, I think I want to spend a little bit of this. So like there's that integration that I appreciate that we do too, is like social studies type thing as well. It's kind of a cross curricular. We have our 4th and 5th grade student leaders, which is what I would call like, you know, your student council, your STUCO, but our 4th graders are our student council members. And we think of them more as our internal kiddos. So they do tours for our new students that join. They give them a tour of the school, give that student perspective. And then we have our student ambassadors, who are our 5th grade student leaders. And they do more of our external marketing, if you will, in some ways. It's like they're giving tours for a lot of the adults that come to campus to tour our school, because we are a pioneering school in and of itself. So they're touring, giving tours for adults. Last month they did our campus improvement team meeting, where they got to come and be a student panel for some of our stakeholders. So that was exciting to see them give their feedback and input. Next week they're doing a fundraiser for our schools, because they want to get soccer goals for our turf outside. So that's exciting. So that's something we're doing. We have some Panther Creek student ambassadors, high school students coming here. They have kind of buddy system going, but they're also going to start doing little mini SEL lessons that they're doing at their campus here for our students. They just light up when they see both the high school students and the elementary students. It's just like a joy filler for both of them. So that's been really impactful and amazing to see. And they've only come twice. And some other things, I'm trying to think of some other things we got going. There's a lot going on, but those are some of the most like broadcasted, fun, exciting things, I think.
Yeah. And you know, you definitely are the fun parent in the relationship. You know, myself and Mrs. Wells, our assistant principal, you know, we're kind of like I don't want to say mean, but you know, we're definitely not the fun. Maybe you're the fun aunt.
I am the fun aunt.
You're definitely the fun aunt. The kids just love Miss Reynolds, and you're the one that are letting them pie teachers in the face and giving them awards and t-shirts and all the things. So I know the kids love you for that, even though I have to give you a hard time. So, okay, so you said a little bit, you know, that those words, social emotional learning, and that can be a buzzword out in the public. And, you know, we also use the terms relationship-centered learning. And so those aspects are a big part of your role. And you coach teachers on using strategies. So talk to us about like, what's a positive example of a kid engaging in, like, let's say a morning meeting or a class meeting? Like, what do those do for the community in the classroom?
For one, it just, I feel like, opens communication and gives every student in the class a chance to speak and talk when they might not. So it's like helping bridge that gap for the shy students. It's helping the students who are sometimes fill the room and give a lot of space, an opportunity to show self-control and really be impactful and listen to everybody. And that in and of itself is a big life skill that I think we're teaching kids. Like, we are listening to every single person. We are sitting together. We're not just waiting for our turn to speak. We're not just, and that's an adult skill that we need as an adult sometime, of like, I want to actually hear their story. I want to listen to what they're saying. I want to ask and inquire about it. So if I'm being honest, like, that life skill alone is the most impactful part of it, of just and it builds community. So it lets the students know each other, lets the teachers know the students. I love it when I go into a classroom and the teachers are sharing a story about their weekend. That was always, as being a classroom teacher, was their favorite part of the Monday, when I would be like, oh my goodness, guys, guess what happened this weekend? And I would share a story about whatever happened, and just modeling that and just sharing a fun, loving story, and then them doing the same thing, going around giving every single person a turn to speak. pass if they want to, but eventually they will get there. They will all share and feel comfortable doing that. And just having that comfort and community is the most important thing to me. So
I agree. It's that connectedness and, you know, just as simple, like one of the foundations of those meetings is a greeting. And so just every student in class knowing each other's names. And I love when we ask a simple question like, you know, what's your favorite place to eat?
Yep.
And the smile on a kid's face when a kid says McDonald's and to watch another kid go, oh, me too. And it just builds that connection. People they might not think that they have a lot in common with or that they would be friends with, they all of a sudden have this connection.
And just little facts that they'll give, like, oh, every Friday we get McDonald's. And it's like, oh, why that? It's like, well, that's our special day. So you just like get little nits of like facts about each student that even I know and I do in guidance. So I'll be like, hey, it was Friday last week. Did you go to McDonald's? And they're like, no, Miss Reynolds. And even though they're not my student, I know those little things about them that they feel important. And that's huge.
Yeah. Like they need to know their teacher knows their dog's name.
Yes.
Or their grandma's coming into town this weekend or all those things. And so just so much goodness. So thank you. Okay. What is your favorite part about being the counselor at Minett Elementary School?
I think it's being the fun aunt. Honestly, like I walk into that's like the way, that's a really good depiction because I'll walk into the class and be like, Miss Reynolds. It's just like the light up because like I feel like my knowing that every kid knows who I am. If a parent was like, who's your school counselor? And they would say, oh, it's Miss Reynolds. Like that's important, I think, to have just another adult that they know in the building that's important and valuable, like knows them, they know who they are, they know my role. They should know like, oh, what's her job? Her job is to keep us safe. Her job is to teach us about how to get along with friends. Her job is to help us know more things about ourselves. And if they can articulate that, then I've done my job. So like when they're like, oh, Miss Reynolds, and they light up, I'm like, right, all this week, they put me on the announcements and they're like, it's Happy National School Counselors Week, and they're calling it Miss Reynolds Week. And they're like, happy Miss Reynolds Week. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. They're like, we appreciate you so much. And just them, I'm like, just put me in a puddle right now. They're the best.
Well, you said something that made me think about, you know, the question earlier about things that you pioneer. And people may not know this, but you and I have been together before Minett. You were my counselor at our previous campus. And you came up with this idea of these 60-second, what do you call them? When you meet with every kid in the school.
Oh, yeah, our Minett meetings.
Minett meetings. Yes, tell us.
At the beginning.
Yes, tell us about that because not everybody does that.
No, and I do it every year, and especially this year opening a new campus. So in August, instead of doing a formal guidance, I meet with every student in the school for a minute, 2 minutes, each student. So I just ask them question like, what's your name? What's something you want me to know about you? And I get facts, and I just spend a minute at least with every student in the school to getting to know them. And I'll do it at the end of the year too, and just kind of like in May, I'll have a time again where I'll be like, here's our Minett meeting. I just pull every student in and out of the hall and just ask them like, what was the highlight of your year type thing, and just see what we need to change and kind of get feedback that way. And we're supposed to do needs assessments all the time anyway. And so that's kind of my needs assessment. I do it individually with every student. So it's my favorite thing.
It's awesome.
So fun.
Yeah, it makes such a big impact, and that's how you know all the kids by name.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so before we let you go, on our podcast, we like to end each episode with a little fun aunt. So today we're going to play 5 questions. We would do 20 questions, but we're a little short on time. So 5 questions, okay?
Got it.
I'm not going to give you a lot of wait time.
Okay.
So which of Snow White's 7 dwarfs describes you best?
Dopey.
Why?
Because I make it a point to be a goober all the time to make people feel comfortable, and it's just worked for me, my life. And I'm just pretty dopey a lot of the time.
Do you ever get in trouble in meetings?
Yes, sometimes, but I'm kind of one of those ask for forgiveness type, and I usually get away with it, but I'm also the youngest child in my family. So, you know, there's that birth order thing going on for me. So I'm dopey, I'm the fun-loving, youngest child, fun aunt.
I love it. Would you go to space if you knew that you could never come back to Earth?
Hard no. No.
I agree.
No, it's scary.
Have you ever been mistaken for a famous person?
No, I have not. I've been told I look like Claire Danes before. That's the only celebrity really look-alike I've been told.
What is the funniest thing you've ever received as a gift?
Funniest thing. I don't have an answer for that.
Okay, you
For
pass.
this podcast, yes.
See, you can
pass.
model and pass
Mhm.
like we allow kids.
Mhm.
What song describes your life right now?
Jackson 5, I'll be there.
Okay, why?
Because I'm always there. I gotta be there for everybody all the time.
Yep. And when you're not here,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about
Yes.
who you're there for at home.
I have 3 little munchkins that I'm chasing around after this. My husband's at work when I go home, so I gotta be there. I'm on it all the time.
Awesome. Well, listeners, don't forget to check out the Counselor's Corner each week in our Minett Connection. Miss Reynolds just includes so many resources to support your child's well-being at home as well. She's always available as a resource. Don't ever hesitate to email or call. I'm a mom here as well, and sometimes you just need a quick talk about, hey, we're struggling with this at home, and she's always there to give you a few tips. So she's there for all of us. And Miss Reynolds, thank you so much for everything that you do for our students, our staff, and our families.
It is my absolute pleasure. I would not want to be anywhere else, truly. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. If you are hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode, and for that, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We hope you enjoyed this new episode, and if you did, please leave us a like on YouTube and be sure to hit subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter,